Kids for Positive Change is brought to you in part by Robert S. Morrison Foundation, Molded Fiberglass Foundation, Huffman Mayer Wealth Management Group of Wells Fargo Advisors, a friend of Kids for Positive Change, After School Discovery, Nancy Warner, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Camille, and this is Bree, the Rescue Rooster. Join Bree, me, and the Kids for Positive Change team to take positive action for animals, people, and the planet. Are you ready, Bree? Are you ready? Let's meet the team.
Hi, I'm Sadie.
Giselle.
Jalen.
Jenna.
Emma.
Tyree.
Hi, I'm Hunter. Gracie.
Sal.
Chance.
Tula.
Hi, I'm Clara.
Adversity. Ariana.
Hey, I'm Quinn.
We are Kids for Positive Change.
We're the Kids for Positive Change, working together so we can arrange bright ideas and actions with help from our heartbeat to heal our planet, 'cause we're one family. Our goal is finding solutions we need to save our planet. Let's start with the seed that grows into actions to help light the way. Kids for Positive Change, come join us today.
Today, we're learning about great horned owls, deforestation, climate change, and how we can take positive action. Earth is rich with a variety of life. Above us, below us, and everywhere in between, there is a magnificent variety of species, genes, and ecosystems interconnected with one another. This is called biodiversity.
We share Earth with a variety of species.
Some big, some small, some tiny, some tall, some furry, some feathered, squishy, scaly, prickly, and poisonous, armored, shelled, smooth, rough, and tough. These species live on every continent, in every climate, keeping ecosystems balanced and connect to each other and even to us.
So let's break it down. Species are groups of specific living organisms. Wolves, whales, and wolverines are all different species. Maple, oak, and elm trees are all different species.
Groups of species have a variety of genes.
Wait, but what do genes have to do with life on Earth?
No, not those types of genes. No, this is DNA, genetics, those types of genes. Gray wolves, red wolves, and Arctic wolves are all species of wolves, but they are not exactly the same because their genes are different. The same is true for white oak, live oak, and red oak trees. All of these species, with their different genes, live in ecosystems. Forests, deserts, grasslands, wetlands, coral reefs are examples of different ecosystems.
Every species in every ecosystem has a role to play in keeping those ecosystems balanced and depend on one another to survive and thrive.
This is called species interconnectivity.
See, when species are healthy and balanced, ecosystems are healthy and balanced, and the Earth is healthy and balanced too.
But Earth is off balance because one particular species is causing a lot of problems.
Oh, humans.
What problems are humans causing?
Deforestation and habitat loss, destroying or fragmenting wild habitats by mining, mowing, logging, drilling, dredging, and fracking, and for ranches, roads, palm oil plantations, farmland, factories, and urban sprawl.
When habitats disappear, so do many species of plants, animals, insects, arachnids. I mean, you get the picture. Pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution.
And what about light pollution and noise pollution?
Plastic pollution.
Strikes. Vessel strikes injure and kill marine life. Window strikes injure and kill birds.
Introducing and reducing. Introducing species that don't belong in a particular ecosystem. Now, these species are invasive species and they harm native species.
Reducing species by killing them for their fur or body parts out of fear to protect farm animals or crops, or just because a species is in the way.
Overconsumption, using Earth's natural resources like land, wood, and water faster than they can be replaced.
And the big one, a hot topic, literally, climate change.
Climates are changing because the Earth's temperature is rising, and the Earth's temperature is rising because of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. These are naturally occurring greenhouse gases. But we've got way too much in the Earth's atmosphere right now because of humans. Tyree, it's gonna be okay, all right?
But there are so many problems facing Earth and biodiversity.
I don't know what to do.
Look, well, I mean,
we can, like,
we can do things like this. We can start small.
Let's push pause. There are many problems facing Earth and biodiversity, but we don't have to tackle all of them today. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You okay? You good? Yeah. Okay.
It's true, humans are part of the problem, but humans are also part of the solution.
When we take positive action to stop deforestation and curb climate change, we save and protect biodiversity.
Let's see what we save.
Great horned owls call most of North and South America home, including right here in the state of Ohio.
Their habitats include forests and wooded areas. They can also be found in orchards, marshes, swamps, urban areas, and sometimes even cities.
Great horned owls mainly eat rodents. When a great horned owl is near, you don't have to worry about an overpopulation of mice or rats.
Owls can turn their heads about 270 degrees. Yeah, I can't do that.
Do you know all owls have tiny air pockets in their bones?
The air pockets make their bones very lightweighted and help them fly.
And when owls fly, you can't hear them coming.
An owl's feathers have a velvety textures and serrated edges that reduce the swishing noise made by the flapping and flying.
Biomimicry means to copy a cool adaptation from nature and apply it to human engineering.
Human engineers are working to copy owls' silent flight to reduce noise from airplanes and wind turbines.
Way cool!
I've got some great news. We're about to meet a great horned owl, an animal ambassador here at the Akron Zoo, and our expert guest too. Jen, welcome.
Thank you.
So we're just here to ask you some questions before we start. You have anything off the bat?
Why is it called a great horned owl?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, his feather tufts on top of his head are sleeked down, but sometimes you'll see these two tufts of feathers on top of his head. They'll stand straight up and they resemble horns. So that's how they got their name, great horned owl.
Well, how does the great horned owl sort of contribute to keeping our ecosystem healthy and thriving?
Yeah, so great horned owls are a predator. They're an animal that will hunt, kill, and eat other animals. And they eat a variety of different food. They'll eat everything from insects to birds, even reptiles and mammals. But 60% of their diet is made up of rodents, so mice and rats. And that's really important because, although I think rodents are really cute, if their numbers become too many, they can cause problems for us, property damage, damage to crops, even spread disease amongst people. So it's really important that we have our predators like great horned owls to keep those rodent populations in check.
And, you know, for the great horned owl itself, like what does it need to sort of survive and thrive and keep going strong?
Yeah, so as a living animal, they need all those same things. They need a habitat where they have access to clean water, abundant food. They need a place. And for great horned owls, they need to have a way to come in contact with other great horned owls. They are monogamous. They will generally mate for life. They prefer to have their nests really high up in the trees. That's where they feel comfortable, sometimes as high as 40 to 70 feet up in the trees. Wow. So it's important that for them to have access to those really tall, strong trees to raise their young.
Well, I mean, as we've been learning as part of the Kids for Positive Change team, there's, you know, a lot of problems facing the environment. What sort of problems are the great horned owls facing, including climate change, you know what I mean, in their daily lives?
Well, great horned owls, the good thing for them is they're very adaptable birds. They can live in cold environments and warm environments, and they adapt very well. However, as I mentioned, they're a predator. They eat other animals. So while great horned owls are very adaptable, other animals are not. So if any of those prey items aren't able to adapt, it can really cause problems for the great horned owl. Other problems that they are encountering is deforestation. I mentioned how important those really tall trees are for them. So as human populations continue to grow and we expand upon those areas and cut down those trees, that definitely is harmful to the great horned owl. And yet, even another problem for them is, I mentioned they eat a lot of rodents. And we don't like rodents living in our homes, so often people will put out different as a pest control, they'll use different pesticides and things to prevent the rodents from coming in their homes. However, we don't think about those effects. Those mice, they get into the poison, they get outside, they might still be alive, and they'll be moving a little bit slower before they die. So definitely an easy target for an animal like a great horned owl to eat. But when you think about it, now that poison that was in that mouse or that rat is now inside the owls, and it can cause great horned owls to become sick. It can even cause them to die.
The great horned owl is a top predator and keeps ecosystems balanced by controlling the rodent population.
But great horned owls, along with many other species of owls, are losing their lives to secondary poisoning and losing their homes and food sources because of deforestation and, well, you guessed it, climate change.
As this happens, they can't play their important roles in keeping the ecosystems balanced.
This leads to something called a cascading effect. When one thing goes down, it starts a chain reaction.
This is a big problem. It sure is.
But together, we can find solutions and take positive action.
We know small steps and bright ideas lead to big results.
Are we ready to take positive action?
Yeah!
Well, Tula and I are all about taking action, so we were curious as to what positive action we can take to help the great horned owls.
Yeah, so definitely looking into alternative ways of pest control is a great thing that you can do. And all of our native wildlife, as I mentioned, great horned owls are found in our own backyard. So helping keep their environment clean, picking up trash. We don't think about it, but simple trash can make its way into their waterways and can contaminate the water. So simple things like picking up trash and cleaning up their environment is a great way to protect Hoot and all the animals that we share our world with.
And would you say that applies to kids too? Because, as Kids for Positive Change, we want to, come out and figure out ways for kids to actually help and take action. So would you say that applies to kids as well?
Yeah,
when it
definitely.
comes to helping?
Yes, exactly.
That's great. Yeah, well, it sounds like we're off to a flying start, taking positive action for great horned owls like Hoot here. Jen, Hoot, thank you so much for being with us. Tula, thank you.
We can be Earth advocates for great horned owls and all biodiversity. We can share our knowledge by writing an article for our local paper about great horned owls and how important it is to protect their forest habitats.
Great horned owls need trees. Trees are used for paper products. We can use less paper and recycle the paper they do use.
We can curb climate change by turning off the lights when we leave a room.
We can walk, ride a bike, or carpool to use less fossil fuels, which helps curb climate change.
Did you know solutions that helping biodiversity also curb climate change? It's a positive double whammy. Positive whammy number one. Protecting and restoring wild habitats allows biodiversity to do what it does best. Trees, grasses, and healthy soil absorb carbon dioxide, a leading greenhouse gas causing climate change. More trees, grasses, and healthy soil, less CO2 in Earth's atmosphere. Positive whammy number two. Stopping climate change starts with sustainable choices. Now, sustainable choices reduce or can even stop the release of climate-warming greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide into Earth's atmosphere, allowing biodiversity to survive and thrive.
While we're taking positive action for species at the Akron Zoo, you can take positive action wherever you are too. Always remember,
What we do here matters there.
Because we are all connected.
If we can take positive action, so can you!
taking positive action to save and protect biodiversity is something to celebrate. Isn't that right, Bree? Let's keep going. Or in chicken speak, crowing.
Let's see what we save.
Whoa! Today, we're learning about yellow-naped Amazon parrots, deforestation, climate change, and how we can take positive action.
Yellow-naped Amazon parrots call Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Mexico home.
Their habitats include forests, woodlands, and tropical rainforests.
These colorful parrots eat nuts, vegetables, flowers, and fruits.
Yellow-naped Amazon parrots distribute seeds from the plants they eat through their poop, which is vital to the health and regeneration of the forest.
Healthy forest equals healthy humans.
Did you know yellow-naped Amazon parrots have yellow feathers on the nape of their necks? Nape means the back of their neck.
Their feathers are mostly green with a little bit of yellow on their foreheads and red on their wings.
Biomimicry means to copy a cool adaptation from nature and apply it to human engineering.
Humans are studying the structure of parrots' colorful feathers to learn how to color fabrics without using dyes. This could result in color-changing camouflage.
Way cool!
We are neck and nape with a yellow-naped Amazon and an animal ambassador here at the Akron Zoo. Kate, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering, how does the yellow-naped Amazon contribute in keeping our ecosystem healthy and thriving?
So with the yellow-naped Amazons, they eat a lot of fruits, seeds, nuts, and as they do that, they help disperse that across their ranges, the tropical rainforests that they live in. As they digest it and poop it out, they disperse seeds.
And what do they sort of need to survive and thrive in this sometimes tough environment?
So they need a place for shelter, which for them is up in the trees. They need access to water, they need access to food, which like I said are the seeds and nuts and fruits that they need. They need access to mates, and specifically with them to a large flock, because they are social. And they need access to a clean environment.
And what sort of problems are the yellow-naped Amazons facing, and does that include climate change in the mix?
It does include climate change. Okay. So as our climate changes, it can affect them with either less rain, it can affect them with higher or lower temperatures, which they are not suitable to live at. Unfortunately, deforestation affects them, so they are losing the environment that they live in, and unfortunately the illegal pet trade is hitting them pretty hard. So a lot of people, they'll go out and take them from the wild to put them into the pet trade, and it's making their numbers decline.
As this happens, they can't play their important roles in keeping the ecosystems balanced.
This leads to something called a cascading effect. When one thing goes down, it starts a chain reaction.
This is a big problem. It sure is.
But together, we can find solutions and take positive action.
We know small steps and bright ideas lead to big results.
Are you ready to take positive action?
Yeah!
What would you say is some positive action we can take to help these yellow-naped Amazon parrots?
So locally, you can reduce, reuse, recycle. Shop locally. You can do things like our Cans for Corridors project here at the zoo, where you recycle cans to help rebuild rainforests. You can educate people at your school even to look to see if they want to have a pet, to make sure that it is not taken from the wild or from an illegal situation. Have them discover was it bred specifically for pets, things like that, to make sure it's not from the wild.
And would you give the same advice for kids who maybe want to help out?
Absolutely. They can educate people as well. They can also help things at home. They can turn off lights, they can conserve energy, they can even grow your own gardens at home to help shop locally, to help reduce climate change.
We can be Earth's advocates for yellow-naped Amazon parrots and all biodiversity. We can share knowledge by making an informative flyer about yellow-naped Amazon parrots and how important it is to protect their tropical rainforest habitats.
We can protect rainforest habitats by checking labels and ingredients on foods and products to make sure they're palm oil free.
We can also eat plant-based meals 3 times a week. This helps save the tropical rainforest and curbs climate change.
Wow, the Akron Zoo rocks! Or in chicken speak, walks! Let's meet more animal ambassadors, learn about the problems they're facing, and how we can take positive action.
Look out for legs. It's the giant African millipede. Giant African millipedes called Central and Western Africa home. They're found under rotting wood and moist plant debris in tropical and subtropical climates.
True or false? African giant millipedes are the largest of 10,000 species of millipedes in the world.
That is true.
True or false? Millipedes have 1 million legs.
That one is false. So they have 2 sets of legs per body segment. So they generally have about 240 legs total. They're born with only about 6 legs. Every time they molt, they get a little bit larger, and then they get more legs.
Biomimicry means to copy a cool adaptation from nature and apply it to human engineering.
The wave of motion of millipede legs was copied by humans to create a new form of transportation.
Way cool!
Millipedes know how to play defense.
When threatened, they'll curl up into a ball and produce a fluid that irritates the eyes and mouths of predators. Monkeys and lemurs will rub millipedes into their fur, creating a millipede mosquito repellent. Millipedes are really good at recycling nutrients, that is. Millipedes eat vegetation and decaying plant matter on the forest floor. Millipedes get a meal, and smaller soil decomposers benefit too. Speaking of meals, millipedes are important food sources for shrews, hedgehogs, mongoose, frogs, lizards, tortoises, birds, bugs, scorpions, and beetles.
Millipedes, biodiversity, Earth, and us. What's the connection?
By feeding on dead organic plant material, millipedes help plants grow and ecosystems to regenerate. Healthy ecosystems, healthy Earth, healthy humans. But the millipede's rainforest home is being destroyed. With deforestation comes habitat loss. So what can kids do to help, Melanie?
Yeah, absolutely. So a good way to help the rainforest is to buy products that are certified sustainable for the rainforest, so things that are certified by the Rainforest Alliance or the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil. Those are two really big ones. Also just reducing our overall consumption, buying things secondhand when we can, things like recycling. We have a great program at the Akron Zoo called Cans for Corridors, where we recycle aluminum and steel cans. The money that we raise, we use to plant trees to create corridors between different fragmented habitats out in South America. So that's a really great way that we are planting trees and connecting and saving rainforests. So we've raised about 12 grand and planted about 16,000 trees so far.
Well, that's awesome.
Wow, the Akron Zoo rocks, or in chicken speak, walks. Let's learn how the Akron Zoo is helping biodiversity locally and globally. What's small, slimy, and has a shell?
It's the Petula snails. Let's learn how humans can have a positive impact on species and habitats.
We're here at the Akron Zoo with expert guest and educator, Patty. Hey, Patty, how's it going?
It's going well.
Good to see you, Patty.
Almost 30 years after being wiped out by human-introduced invasive species, zookeepers have returned more than 5,000 extinct in the wild, critically endangered tropical snails back to their island homes.
The Akron Zoo has played a pivotal role in reviving the once extinct in the wild Petula snail and reintroduced them back into the wild. So cool.
So tell us about your breeding program and your reintroduction program, Patty.
Well, sure. We've had this breeding population of snails for quite a while, and before we could reintroduce them into the wild, we had to make sure their habitat would be able to sustain them, since they were basically, suffering from habitat loss and being eaten by a much larger predatory snail. So once the habitat was, this is good, this is going to support the snails, last year we actually sent a large group of snails over to Tahiti with 2 of our staff.
I want to go to Tahiti, Patty. Do you want to go to Tahiti?
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like our staff had a great time meeting the scientists out in the field. And, that is, you feel like you've achieved something absolutely wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful
Yeah.
when you're able to take an animal and put it back into its natural habitat.
That's one of the things I love about the Akron Zoo, because you're all about conservation, but also about, hey, if there's a problem, let's do something about it. It's advocacy in action.
Yes.
And I think the success of this reintroduction program and breeding program of the Petula snail is just that. Well, we're taking positive action for species at the Akron Zoo. You can take positive action wherever you are too. Always remember,
What we do here matters there.
Because we are all connected.
If we can take positive action, so can you!
Whoa, you all rock! Until next time, share your knowledge and keep taking positive action for biodiversity, a cooler climate, and brighter future. See you later. Bye!
We're the the kids for positive change. Working together so we can arrange bright ideas and actions with help from our heartbeat to heal our planet, cause we're one family. Our goal is finding solutions we need to save our planet. Let's start with the seed that grows into actions to help light the way. Kids for positive change, come join us today.
All right, behind the scenes with KPC, girls, what are you drinking your water out of these days? Reusable water bottles. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Hello, beauties. You got your reusable water bottles. You're having your vegetarian lunch. Is it good? Is it yummy? Awesome, awesome. What about over here? Oh, Emma, what have you got there? Do you have your
boxed water?
Boxed water is better. All right, doing a little circle. Headed over here to the boys' table. Got a little box water action. Anything to say behind the scenes, KPC?
I wore out the apple. I ate it.
And what are you gonna do with that apple? Are you gonna throw it in the trash or are you gonna compost it?
No, I'm gonna compost it.
All right, that's what we like to hear.
Kids for Positive Change is brought to you in part by Robert S. Morrison Foundation, Molded Fiberglass Foundation, Huffman Mayer Wealth Management Group of Wells Fargo Advisors, a friend of Kids for Positive Change, After School Discovery, Nancy Warner, and viewers like you. Thank you.